Hey there, this is Brittany Parker, Seint artist. I'm going to show you how I go from my before to my after, and you can see I am really struggling right now with some acne, and it's not been fun. I'm going to start by setting my face. I just want a little extra coverage. It's going to help my makeup blend, and so that's Charlotte's Tilbury setting spray. And now I'm going to be using these colors. This is Icon Highlight as my bronzer, Hollywood is my Lip+Cheek, Bubba eyeshadow, Zion, and Soulmate. I'm really excited to use that palette today. But first, let's use our Seint 3D Cream Foundation. I'm going to start with this is Aspen Contour. And so this video, I'll show you how I'm going to take all these red blemishes. They're so angry right now on my face. I'm going to cool it down right now with Aspen. It is a contour. It is thicker. So when I go to put my 3D foundation on top, it's just going to hold better and it's going to cover those a lot better. I switch now to my detail brush, the bigger side, and I'm going to start with my contour. Now my contour is going to give my face structure. And so I'm going to start underneath my cheekbone. So you start from the top of your ears and you stop at the outside corner of your eye. And I love this brush because it just is stippling and pressing in that makeup right where it needs to go. And so you have shadows underneath your cheekbone. You have shadows. I'm going to do the perimeter like a rainbow on my forehead. And this is a darker contour that I'm using right now. This is indigo. It's for my summer color. I really love the dimension of contour, and a lot of people are scared of it, and I promise you don't need to be. You'll see how it blends out and it blends together with your highlights to make the most beautiful 3D foundation. I mean, our face is not one color. Your makeup shouldn't be. And so this is why I love Seint makeup so much. And so I'm just kind of stippling it in. I'm making sure I don't wipe it, but I am pressing it in. And so you also have a shadow at the bottom of your jaw. So kind of go in front of the ear and along my jawline, trying to get some of those, oh goodness, trying to straighten that out right there underneath my chin. And then I'll follow up on the other side as well. But I see just if you have right there, you know, your jowls, I'm trying to give an optical illusion that they're not there, you know, like why not? And that's why I love this makeup. It really does enhance what you want and camouflage the things that you kind of want to hide. So this is the same contour. I'm just putting my fingers together, rubbing them and going up the sides of my nose, but more the top of my nose. You don't really want it on the side. You can see that the skinnier the line, the better. It's going to give you a thinner nose. I'm just taking my finger and kind of rubbing that out. And whatever's left, the shadow below my lip, give an illusion that I have a powder lip, and I know I can use this. Okay. So now I am into my 3D brush, and I am going for a little bit more of a fuller coverage to help give me the coverage that I need for my breakouts. And I'm going into my main highlight. This is the color that matches my skin tone the best. And I'm actually kind of making my own. I'm going in between two highlights. And you saw there, I accidentally put a little bit too much. And so that's why you saw me kind of swipe it on my cheek. And then I moved that product to the other side. But like I said, I just kind of stipple in between two different of the highlights. And I'm just pressing it into my face. It's going to help put that makeup. And you know what? I kind of wiped off some of my contour. Don't be afraid to go back and like build up the colors that you want. It's totally okay. All right, so I'm just stippling it on wherever you have a beard. And like I said, I need a little bit more coverage. And so I kind of went higher up on my cheeks. And now I'm going underneath my contour on my forehead. This is all one layer for my three colors, my contour, my two highlights. I am using Frenchie. It's a Lip+Cheek to kind of help color correct the little dark circles underneath my eye. And I don't need it in the entire area under my eye. Less is more. Seint is so much more pigmented. And so it's a dream for more mature skin, oily skin, for any type of skin tone. It really is the best. Now I'm using the other side of my 3D brush and I'm getting my brightening shade. And so this is what you guys might think of as a concealer, and it goes to the center of my face. I use my pinky. I want a skinny line down my nose in between the contour that I made. And then it's going to go to brighten my under eyes. So look, fingers, brushes, you use sponges. This really is just the most easiest, quickest makeup. And you could do it however you want. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's so many tricks. And look, I made a mistake. Just wipe it off. It's creams. Like creams blend out beautifully. But you do notice I put it on the inner and the outside of my corner of my eye. And then I have a lot of redness on my eyelids. And so just whatever is left on my brush, I use that to color correct that. And then I just kind of stipple and merge those, the brightening underneath my eye. And look, I messed up again on my contour. I'm just going to go back in and correct it. I mean, that's so simple. This is my blush and bronzer brush, and this is my favorite one to blend my makeup. And you notice I'm not even doing circles or twirls, or I'm not just going over my entire face, you know, not like being careful. I'm starting from my lightest colors, and then you'll see that I'll go to my darkest colors, but I'm trying to keep the colors in the areas that they are. I mean, we took the time to place them, right? And so you want to keep those. I'm going to use my sponge to help blend out my nose. I just like it. You just get it wet underneath the sink, squeeze it out 5 or 6 times, and make sure that it's damp, no water coming out of it. But I kind of like how it gives a really soft blend. All right, so I needed a little bit more brightening down my nose. Kind of use the bottom of the sponge there to help kind of even that out. All right. So now I'm going to do my contour. I'm bringing that up, and I'm going to underblend it on my cheeks. I'm going to merge my highlights and my contour on my forehead, kind of bring it into my hairline. And like I said, I like the dramatic contour. So this is a trick. I'm using the small end of my detail brush, and I am sharpening my contour line with my brightening. So you could just draw a line right underneath, use that brush to kind of diffuse the color, kind of blend it out. And then in a little bit, I'm going to take my sponge to help blend those together. And you can see this is kind of a hard area. This is where a lot of my breakout is, but I still really like that definition of my contour. Use the brush again, help kind of blend that out. And now this is the softer side, the big side of the blush and bronzer brush. I love that one. Just kind of gives me an airbrush finish. And so really there's so many tools. You really could do this makeup with one brush, your finger and your brush. You could use then also all the brushes. So it's kind of like whatever your needs are. All right, so I kind of want to, like I said, I love contour. I'm just darkening it up a little bit more. I like it. I have a problem. But I'm just using that detail brush to kind of stamp it in and blend it in. And as you blend, sometimes you do notice that, oh, I kind of blended that out too much. Just go back and add more. This is totally buildable. It's the look that you want, and you can keep doing what you need to. All right, so 3D brush and Icon. I'm using as my bronzer. Now you can see it's a really warm, almost caramely kind of brown. And it's a highlight, meaning like your main foundation for a deeper tone, but I can use it as my bronzer. Bella bronzer is my girl. I usually stick to that. But here's to trying new things. This is what I love about Seint makeup. You could try, and it's like so versatile. I'm literally using a foundation as my bronzer. And so don't be scared to try new things. So my bronzer it goes on your forehead. It's all your high points. Like if you went outside and got sunburned on your face, where would you burn? You would burn on the tops of your cheeks, your forehead. And now you can see my neck is a little bit lighter than my face. And so I'm just kind of helping to not only blend out my jaw contour, but I'm also now bringing that icon down my neck and marrying my face and my neck and just making sure that they all match. A little bit on the bottom of my nose, the tip of my nose and the tip of my chin, and kind of just bring a little bit more icon, a little bit more bronze. I mean, I'm a bronzed maniac. I love it. It's literally my favorite product. All right, so this is the very fluffy end of my blush and bronzer brush, just making sure I have like no sharp lines or any product that needs to be blended out. Okay. Hey, I like to be thorough. Okay, let's see what's next. Making sure, like I said, I really want to make sure that it's blended out. A little bit more brightening down the nose. Sometimes I always will put like the blush or the bronzer on my nose. And then I'm like, I don't know if I like that. Well, creams are super forgivable. If you do something, you ended up not really liking it, add back your highlight. Like if you put too much blush on, Then you can use your perfector sponge. It'll help pick some of the product up. You can also put some of your highlight back on top of it, and that will also mute it. Or you could also put a powder on top. And so if you ever kind of feel like you went a little bit too bold, there's definitely options and tricks that you can use to kind of mute it a little bit. So remember those things. All right, so I'm using my blush and bronzer brush. This is Hollywood. Hollywood is such a good pink for the cheeks. It's a beautiful color. I really like Hollywood. It's kind of like it has like a little bit of a shimmer in it, and it's just really pretty on the cheeks. All right, so I'm using the multitasker brush, and I'm using my contour. I love how my contour does that. It contours. It goes on my nose. I'm going to put it in my eyebrows. I could use it for a lip liner. I could use it as eyeshadow. Seint makeup, their creams literally are so versatile, and you could use so many of the products to do your entire face, and it's all in one palette. One palette. You're not carrying around a huge makeup bag. It's just all in these really cute palettes. And let me say, if you're looking for which palette to get, check out Poolside. It is gorgeous. The picture online does not do it justice. All right, so here's my little spoolie. This is my line brush. Sorry, that hair was driving me nuts. And I'm just brushing out my eyebrows. And the other end of this brush, because all of Seint brushes are double-ended, is this angled brush. And I went into an eyeshadow, and I'm using the eyeshadow to fill in my brows. I feel like the eyeshadow gives it a really natural look and a really natural finish. And I'm just kind of doing hairline strokes, trying to blend out the product a little bit. And you know what, my brows, brows are not, I'm not great at my brows. I'm going to say that, but I have been working on it, trying to get a little bit better. But you know, brows are brows. So I just kind of start moving around that product, filling in the front, filling in that top and the bottom, giving a better arch. If you have hooded eyes, make sure that when you're doing your eyebrows that you're lifting your brow and not like bringing it down. You want a bigger eyelid. Give it more real estate so you could, really show off your eyeshadows when you go to do your eyes. But you can see I kind of made a mistake there. Oops, and I can just fix it. Voila, that's it. So you do not have to be a makeup artist. You do not have to be great at makeup. You do not have to have like someone who like puts on makeup every day and goes to Ulta and Sephora and all these places. Literally the most busiest, the most simplest girl can do this. If you want makeup for your teenage daughters, this is it. It is so customizable. You get what you want and what you need. And it's really simple. Anybody can do this. I am definitely not a makeup artist, a professional. I'm a makeup obsessed mom, full-time teacher, a wife, like all of it. And I just love how quick and simple this is. So I'm using my buff brush, going into my Vanilla Dust setting powder. It's Seint, it's in my palette. So once again, everything is inside this one palette, and I'm setting my eyelids because I put my brightening highlight on that to prime them or to, get them all one good base. But I need to set it with powder so that I can blend my eyeshadows. And while I'm in my Vanilla Dust, I always go and set my lighter areas. This is something good. If you have your breakouts, you want to put your powder over your breakout. Blemishes, zits, whatever you want to call them, they can secrete oils. That I felt gross just saying that throughout the day. But put some powder. It's going to help also to minimize the bump to stand out because it'll make it a more matte finish. All right, so now I am spot correcting some of these bigger blemishes. So I'm using my smudge brush. My smudge brush is literally an eyeshadow brush, the best. I love the smudge brush for eyeshadow, but I'm liking it even more. Here I'm trying to fix up my nose, my contour, bringing down the brightening shade down the middle of my nose. And I'm also now just taking whatever highlight, if it's in my main highlight or my brightening highlight, I'm just tapping over those spots that I need to color correct. I'm not even blending them out right now. And I'm really just, even if it's in my darker areas, my highlight, my contour, or my blush, anywhere it is, I can go and try to to color correct and cover, spot correct some of those blemishes. And then I'll show you how I will go. See how this is right in my blush? Like you wouldn't want like a white spot right there, right? Well, I'll show you in a little bit how I'm going to go back and fix that. But this is after. After I put on my 3D creams, I'm going to come back and, spot correct these. I mean, I was like, yeah, better fix that one a little bit. All right. But it really is. So this is the smudge brush. It's fantastic. Okay, so now I'm taking my beauty blender and I'm just kind of blending in some of those spots, just so that there's not just a chunk of highlight on my face. Okay, so now with my finger, I tapped into the color that was on my cheek. And I'm going to use my finger to just very softly tap the color that I want it to be right on top. Now, makeup is not magic. We all have pores. We all get blemishes. We all have wrinkles and fine lines. We have hyperpigmentation. Makeup is not going to 100% get rid of these things. We're going to keep having the texture on our face. We're humans. We're supposed to. And so I want you to have like a real expectation of what makeup is and what it does. But because with Seint, less is more, and it's cream, it's not going to like set over those things and enhance them unless you're using a too light of a highlight, So that's why it's really important that you let me color match you so that we can make sure you get your right shades. Okay, my favorite time, my eyeshadows. And so this is Bubba, and this is the eyeshadow brush, and I'm holding the brush back at the end as I place it and as I blend the product. I'm just putting it in my crease and above my crease. I'm going to go to the outside of the eye right there, and I'm just blending it in, small little strokes, kind of back and forth. I have kind of a weird, I think I have a scar there on my eyelid, so it's always kind of stands out like a weird little spot. So you kind of have to be careful sometimes right there. But, our faces are our faces. They tell stories. Okay, so I'm leaving my eyes open. So if you have hooded eyes, do not close your eyes as you put on your makeup. Like at first open, and then if you want to close to then kind of blend it out, that's fine. But make sure that you're placing your eyeshadow first with your eyes open. You can kind of even tilt your head backwards. And that's kind of a good tip for those of you who have hooded eyes. And you can see that with hooded eyes, I'm going to keep that a matte color on my crease and above right there on that bone there. I don't want to bring shimmer there, and I'm just going to have the matte colors. So I flipped over my double-ended eyeshadow brush, going to the small end, and I'm bringing that same color Bubba underneath my eyes and only about halfway. I do not want to bring it all the way across. But this is such a good little technique for those of you who've, used that black eyeliner forever across your entire eye. Bring an eyeshadow. Try to be bold, pick a cute color, and bring it in your eye, and you're going to see what a difference. Okay, so now I switched to the smudge brush. This is what I used earlier. It's double-ended, so I'm using the other side. And I went into Zion. Zion is this gorgeous, deeper color. You can see it's very similar. It's like in the same family. And I'm just bringing it like a little 7 to the outside. And I'm pressing it in. And now I'm going to bring that color also to about the third bottom of my eyelid, or the eyelashes on the bottom, and maybe not as far in as the first color. This is my cleaning tile. Let me just tell you, it's worth it. It's worth it. And it stays in your palette. Like, the best. Okay, so now after I clean my brush, I am blending these together, small little circles, and just kind of windshield wiping also. Just kind of want to make sure that there's no harsh lines. And there we go. Okay. So now the fun's coming. Here it is. All right, that, my friends, is Soulmate. If you are going to get one shimmer and you like a bold, beautiful eye, check this color out. I mean, what a phenomenal shimmer. It is so beautiful for any event, for any night out, or just any day when you want to look good. And see how I'm using my finger and I'm kind of pressing down first, and I start at the apple of my eye. That's where I really kind of want to concentrate the color. Especially if hooded eyes, my friends, You want this area bright. Okay, you don't want to darken right there. You can see how it opens my eyes and it really makes my eyes look wider. All right, use my fingers kind of cleaning that up right there. I'm taking my smudge brush again and just kind of making sure that that Zion's blended. But I mean, sorry, this is a beautiful eye combo. All right, this is my buff brush and I'm cleaning up the edges of my eyeshadow. And this is a really nice way to kind of get nice angles for your eyeshadow. Kind of gives you a little facelift right there too. And I know me and a lot of others can use it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go and do all of these. I put my mascara, my eyeliner. There's an eyelash primer, all of it. I'm getting close to being done, friends. If you stuck with me this long, I appreciate it. Okay, so Hollywood, the same color that I had on my cheeks. I am just putting a small amount on my lips, just using my finger, blending it in. Remember, I contoured my lips with my contour, or I lined my lips with my contour. And I mean, I love using the same lip, the same cheek. And this, my friends, is Soulmate. This is that same pretty eyeshadow that I put on, that shimmer. And I'm just putting a little bit on my lips. And I'm sorry, just what a pretty finish. All right, well, look at me. Okay, Photoshop Powder Illuminator. I mean, I'm feeling a little glam right now, if I must say so. Might as well use a powder illuminator. It really, I mean, it's beautiful. It's a little bit more than, you know, the creams are more subtle. The powders definitely pack a punch. Cupid's bow down your nose, and on my cheeks. And man, I think I'm done. I will set with a setting spray again, but that's it. I really appreciate you watching this video. If you want to be color matched, look at this before. This is my after. Reach out. I'd love to help you.